Hey Railheads, welcome back to my Finger Lakes Railway layout. Today I'll make some homemade grass tufts, grass mats, and bushes. I'll use different glues and different backings. So let's see what works and what doesn't. Coming up on my Finger Lakes Railway layout. Now here I'm using non-stick aluminum foil. You'd think all foil would be non-stick, right? But this stuff has some kind of coating on it. It's really slick. I also tried parchment paper as well as regular foil, and we'll look at those here in a minute. I applied little dots of matte medium to one half of the sheet and Mod Podge matte on the other side. I had to pour some Mod Podge into a squeeze bottle to get the dots to work, and I was hoping that Mod Podge would work as well as the matte medium just because it's so much cheaper. I've loaded some grass into my trusty old Flocket rocket, and I'm just shaking it on. I think at some point several years ago I did a bunch of grass and I forgot to use the little alligator clip, with a nail that you stick in the glue. And it came out fine. So I don't even bother with that part anymore. Grass seems to stand up okay. Now I got my static grass applicator plugged in. If you're trying to use a battery, try not to. Oh hey, if you like this kind of stuff, please hit the like button. It helps YouTube know to show it to more people. Appreciate it. So here's our first failure. The matte medium is fine, but the grass looks like it's allergic to the Mod Podge or something. It's weird. The matte medium on the left and the Mod Podge on the right. It's like it's naked. I turned the sheet upside down and shook off the excess grass. And you can see I recovered a good bit. These are some old bushes I made a while ago. I used hairspray to attach the foam. They're kind of going bald now. The cheap hairspray seems to work good at first, but I think the matte medium is going to last a whole lot longer. I've brushed some matte medium onto the bushes, and then I just shake a couple different tones of fine ground foam. It seems like the base of these tufts are kind of too tall. I'm wanting a flatter look. I'll use a brush to kind of flatten out my dots. And this might help the grass tufts blend into the layout a little better too. And again, shaking off the excess to be used later. And very little waste with this technique. I'm using the pinch and stab method here with some 12 mil for some bushes, leaving the dots taller to support the longer fibers. I did some of this in my last video around the culvert pipe. I'll come back with some shorter grass to kind of fill things in. Another experiment here, snipping some bristles off a disposable brush and sticking them into the matte medium to make a bush. And another fail. They fall right over. Well, this DAP adhesive caulk holds the bristles up no problem. I'm using a spray bottle now with diluted matte medium. I don't know, maybe 50-50 with water. Then I sprinkle some ground foam on top. Well, about time for another failure, right? Hey, I'm used to it by now. That's how you learn from my mistakes. So I've moved on to the grass mats now, and I'm trying regular foil as well as the parchment paper. And so we'll see how well that works when it's time to peel the mats up. Hey, it's good old Elmer. Come on in here, Elmer, you old rail dog. Join the party, why not? Elmer's getting the pension stab at 12 mil. And here's my obligatory boomer tip. A viewer asked me to add a link for him, so look in the description for that. So let's paint some grass. Using Tamiya paints, thinned a lot with IPA. I'm using the darker green here, trying to hide the white caulk. So I've got two airbrushes. This cheap double action one came with a cheap Harbor Freight airbrush kit. The Harbor Freight compressor didn't have a regulator on it, so I've since upgraded my compressor to a Porter Cable 6-gallon pancake unit. I primarily shoot either Vallejo Model Air or Tamiya paints. The Tamiya I thin with isopropyl alcohol, or IPA they call it, but the Vallejo paint is not compatible with IPA. So I use my old Pache single action Model H for Vallejo and this double action for the Tamiya. I'm coming back with a little highlight color here. Well, now let's see how easy it is to remove the grass from the backing. Well, the non-stick foil and the parchment are both big winners. Stuff pops right off. It peels right up nice, but that matte medium is too tough to tear. I was hoping to be able to tear these mats into random shapes. Maybe next time I'll try a thinner coat. Time for the scissors. Oh, I forgot to mention, I painted the mats with a couple different shades of green just to kind of mix it up a little bit. So now to peel the grass mat off the regular foil. Geez, failing. When all else fails, rip it in half, right? It's starting to get somewhere now, but what a pain. Old Elmer comes right up off the parchment, no problem. I think it tears a little better than the matte medium too. Feels kind of stiffer though, so I don't know how well it's going to glue down flat on the layout. Well, you got to glue your glue down, right? So I will take a look at that process here shortly. I really like making the bushes. I think they came out pretty good. So now let's stick this stuff on the layout. And here's where I could have done a better job gluing them down. I didn't get the glue close enough to the edges, but I was able to use some other stuff I had laying around and kind of hide those edges. Well, I hope you all will give this a shot. Is it as good as what you get from Scenic Express? No, but it's a whole lot cheaper. And maybe some of you guys don't even have a layout yet. Well, why not make a little diorama, lay a little piece of track, put down some grass, try some water effects. You might come up with a nice photo op for your trains and get some good practice in for when the layout does come to life. Well, hey, thanks for watching. Hit the like button. Take care.